actually started buying
Mhm.
MP3s or digital music, what are some of the sort of platforms or the companies you would go to online to buy these MP3s that download and purchase and download the MP3s?
I think for me, iTunes was pretty much the end all be all.
Yeah.
And then I got into some DJ pools, and then I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, this is a better way."
Yeah.
Because I was still trying to figure it out, and a lot of the DJ pools, like, if you weren't a resident somewhere, it was difficult to get
They wouldn't let you
into.
get in, right?
Yeah, they
Exactly.
wouldn't let you get in,
Mm.
so it was an issue, so I was like, "So, well, screw that. Since I'm not a resident somewhere, I'll just get it from iTunes, and
Yeah.
I'll just leave it like that for a while." And so that was my mentality for a long time, just trying to go to the store, figure out what I needed, and also I would buy actual CDs sometimes, and then rip them into an MP3 form,
Right.
and then
Exactly.
I would sell the CD after. I know it's double dipping, but I would sell the CD to like a used music store or
Right.
something. Yeah, because like I got the MP3, I don't need anymore, and I do it like that. But like that that was my mentality for a long time. I was just trying to prepare for the future while still keeping tabs on what was going on,
Yeah.
and it got annoying. But I stayed on top of it for a long time until Serato came out, and I was like, okay, here we go. I don't need to do any of this anymore. The hard drives are big enough that you could put stuff on there. I had external hard drives too. Like you had a bunch of stuff that it made it more feasible. Now, I can put I got like I think 300 gigs of music on my laptop right now. Like that was a dream
Mhm.
before.
Right.
That
I
was a
mean,
dream. Like the hard drives on a laptop was like 400 megabytes, 500
well,
megabytes, and that
back
was
in the
it.
day, they were like maybe even 128 or something like that, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. If you're lucky, if you spent money, you can get a drive that big,
That
unless
had
you
a
got the
gig or
external stuff.
something on it, right? Exactly. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
and those
See,
drives are expensive.
yeah, see, that wasn't okay. So for me, it was a lot different because
Mhm.
um, we played, a lot of the people who played DJs who played house music. We couldn't just go to iTunes at that time. iTunes really didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of, underground house music. So we had to go to different sources that specialized in
Mhm.
dance music. So companies like Stompy, which was out of San Francisco, and then
Mhm.
Digital Dance Music, which was out of, I think, Brooklyn or maybe the Bronx. They had the dopest Afro Brazilian music. And at that time, I was sort of into this whole loungy Afro Brazilian thing. So,
Mhm.
man,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they had everything. And then also Beatport and Track Source. Now, I was buying a lot of my stuff off of Beatport until a friend told me about Stumpy. And Stumpy just had
Mhm.
like some of the craziest, like broken beats, um, all the deep house, all the sort of house coming out of like San Francisco, which is a pretty big, house scene. But I was
Yeah,
buying
yeah.
most of my stuff from Beatport. But Beatport started sort of realizing that, hey, a lot of DJs are buying music off of our platform. That was when
Mhm.
Beatport started saying, hey, we are big. We are number
Mhm.
one, right? And
Yeah.
so I think, the other thing was sometimes when you bought music off of Beatport, it just wasn't good. It wasn't mastered
Mhm.
properly. It wasn't mixed properly. And so that happened to me a few times. And that's sort of how my dislike
Mhm.
of Beatport. If you want to know like how it started
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
10, 12, almost, 15 years ago. And it was just
Well,
like, how can you be a company
Mhm.
whose sole purpose is to sell music so that DJs can download? How can you let something like this slip through the cracks? And the reason why was because it was I think, and this was the word on the street, that sometimes people would pay to be on their top 100, or labels would pay so that their artists can, sort of be in the
Yeah.
top 10 and things of that nature. And they just would let sort of really crappy music slip. So you would buy a track for $1.49 or $1.99, download
Mhm.
it. The next thing you know, it's just like all muffled and you can't even play it. And there was really no way to
Yeah, yeah.
contact them and say, hey, you know what? Can I have my money back? So I was just like, I'm done with Beatport.